Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today we are just talking. What we're going to do is I'm going to answer some of the questions people have been asking me on the channel over the years. It's been like I think 2-3 years now, and I'm also going to talk about the general direction of this channel. So first, let's start with the questions. And the first one by Steppa, I think it's Steppa G or Steppa G. How do you manage to travel alone and enjoy? And I've been asked this question several times, even with my friends. Brian also asked, mbona unaenda hiking peke yako? Wadoni asked, amazing, I love the place. How does it feel adventuring alone? I'm leaning towards that path. The answer to that is simply, if you plan to do something with people, there's a high chance you'll never do anything, right? Because again, you can make plans with friends or other people, and then, at the end or the last day, someone pulls out or something happened. And it might just be like, a family emergency, or, someone didn't get the total funds needed and the whole trip just collapses. So personally, I always make a plan for a trip without considering anyone. Like, I completely never consider, I'm going to do this trip with, this or that person. I just plan a trip and do it. After planning it, I might talk to some people about, hey, I'm doing this, would you like to join? If they're up for it, they'll be able to join. If not, again, at the end of the day, I'm still going, so nothing changes. So yeah, solo travel, it just requires you to just do it. Otherwise, if you keep, going back and forth the idea, well, time is moving and you'll never do it. And in Kenya, I'd confidently say there's not a single place where you can't go with a public transport. I think that is also the other thing which I think people tend to ignore. I don't know why. I think we're so used to seeing other people travel with flights, so we just think like, oh yeah, travel is very expensive. I have to book a flight or I have to book a private car. Otherwise, I won't be able to do that. And the reality is, anywhere in Kenya, you can wake up tomorrow and decide, you know what, I'm going to Lodwar, and then from Lodwar I'm going to Elie very easily. And there's a matatu all the way, or buses all the way from here to Lodwar. Then when you reach Lodwar, you get a Probox or another matatu that is going to take you all the way to Lake Turkana. If you go to Marsabit, the same thing. If you go to northeastern Kenya, the same thing. There's public transport in pretty much every corner of this country. Now, that being said, of course, there are some places where it is going to be a bit challenging. For example, especially again in northeastern Kenya, the timings are different. It's not like a very regular mode of transport, so you have to plan in advance. So yeah, just one day in advance, you'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go to this place. You call ahead, and yeah, you get the contacts for whatever you need, and then you'll be told, oh, maybe this bus or this matatu leaves at this time, so be there by this time, and that's it. Usually very affordable way of traveling. Whenever you go to a town, again, don't sleep in very expensive hotels. Like, the whole point is to see a place, unless it's a vacation or you just want to rest. Otherwise, go and book any normal hotel. Personally, I usually say 2,500 shillings. That is like $25. That is my cutoff for how much I'm going to spend in a hotel. So usually I just pay between 1,000 to 2,000 shillings, and those are decent hotels. And for me, since I travel with like a camera and stuff, I need security, and I always try to make sure it's a reputable hotel, or at least it's in booking.com or even Airbnb or any other online website. So yeah, I do that. I go to a hotel, check in, because there I'll just be sleeping, nothing else. All the other time I'm outside walking around and trying to explore, the towns, the streets, the markets. So I don't need like a very fancy bed and, like all these different types of lights in the hotel room. Anything cheap, as long as it's safe, not like, again, bottom, like lodging places with like a wooden door that someone can just smash open. You also have to consider security. So yeah, anything below 1,000 shillings, I tend to think they are not that good. So keep it between 1,000 to 2,000. Food, go to the local places. Food usually costs like what, $2, $3. That is like 300 shillings a day. And with that, you can easily be able to travel alone. So just start with a random place. Wake up tomorrow and decide, you know what, I want to go to Kisumu, or I want to go to Mombasa or Diani. Get a direct matatu or bus that goes there. Visit the place, check in a hotel, walk around, do a few things. go back to the hotel, come back if that is in Nairobi, and yeah, from that you'll be able to extend more locations. Another question someone asked is, why did you use West African Dunumba music as background for a tour of Kenya? Then I could hear the balafon and kora, both West African music instruments found in Mali, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, Senegal, and Cote d'Ivoire. This was asked by Pontian and Kakoro. Sorry, it's Pontian and Kakoro. Sorry if I mispronounce any names. Now, the problem with YouTube in Africa, or rather being a YouTuber in Africa, is when it comes to licensing music, it's, I think, one, very complicated, and two, there's not that many options. So for example, let's say I go to Meru, right, and I want to shoot a video about Meru or the area. It's easy for me to go there and do everything, right? But when it comes to editing the video, it's impossible for me to get any soundtrack from the Ameru people, from people from that area, even from central Kenya. It's almost impossible for me to get like even just a 2 minutes beat that is authentic to that region, And yeah, I don't know, if you're a tech person, that is a perfect business idea. I just want 10%. Yeah, but someone should create these, like, I'm sure so many African creators require such a service. Currently, I pay for this service called Epidemic Music. It costs $14 per month. That is 1,500 shillings. That is expensive. And their African music selection is, honestly, it's terrible, right? Because it's African music that has been created by people who are not African. So they usually just sound like random drums and some like percussions. Like, they sound very terrible, right? It's like music from the 1930s of what people then thought what African music is. So yeah, that is the problem why I rarely use any African beats. Like, I try my best, like I really try, but there's just no way to get those beats. So if you're a producer, I don't know, send me your beats and I'll be using them on my videos, and I don't know, link them in the channel description. Maybe it will help. I don't know. Or if you're someone who is into tech and that you think that's a viable idea, run away with it. We need such a platform. If I can pay 1,400 shillings, for a company that is, I think it's Sweden. If you're a Kenyan company or whatever from Africa, I guarantee you I'll be able to pay as long as I can get beats like our piano beats, Afro beats. I can get, some Kwaito, I can get some Bongo, Lingala, and even indigenous beats where, like, let's say it's a documentary about a certain culture, like, a certain tribe. It would be perfect if we could be able to get those authentic beats. Sorry if the light keeps changing. It keeps getting sunny, cloudy, and I'm tired of trying to change the settings there. Another statement, this is not a question, but people were complaining that when I did the African trip around Kenya, there were comments like, I fully settled that Northeastern is not part of Kenya. Another person also said, who said that? That was, the channel is called East African. That person said, I fully settled that Northeastern is not part of Kenya. Another person also said, how comes you didn't go to northeast of Kenya if you said you were traveling all over Kenya? The answer to this is quite simple. First, if you're traveling with foreigners, I'm sure people who are into the travel industry know this. Most of them, or actually all of them, get travel insurance. And travel insurance covers you for certain areas and not other areas. So places like Mandera have always been on the blacklist in Kenya for when it comes to travel. So they are always told, don't go there, right? If you go, you can go. It's not that, you don't have to. But if you go and anything happens to you, you won't be covered in any way by, insurance, and even the government might be like, oh yeah, we told you not to go there, so why did you do that? And that is the problem, with such areas. Since they're blacklisted, people try to avoid them. And you also, if you're a tour guide, you can't put, your clients at risk just, for the sake of doing it. And that's, again, why that's why when we did that documentary, we didn't go to northeastern Kenya. We did up to Marsabit and then branched to northern Kenya, the other side, but not, the side of Mandera, Wajir. And those are very beautiful places, but at the end of the day, politics sometimes wins, and yeah, until things change, maybe it's going to remain the same. And for those who watched my experience going to northeastern Kenya, you can also see like how challenging it is. If I'm a Kenyan and I ended up being treated like that, so you can imagine maybe a foreigner having the same situation, that will just be a total mess. So yeah, that's the problem with that. Even Lamu, it's still in the red zone for some reason. But the thing with Lamu is usually the Lamu Island itself and Manda, those places are safe. But then they usually say that all the other areas around Lamu, that is Mpeketoni, when you go towards Boni, Lamu is big. People tend to think Lamu is just the island, but rather the county itself is huge. But Lamu Island itself has always been on the white list. But then the other areas, yeah, it's a bit complicated. And that's why, again, most people who go to Lamu, they just prefer flying and not driving because there's so many security checks and, ambushes sometimes happen. So yeah, that is the reason. So, it's not up to me. It's for me. I just have to do what I can do, but I'm not meant to push like boundaries with governments and yeah. Yeah, another question. Edwin Mayua asked, "Are you not afraid of lions or leopards?" I can't remember which video that was from. I think maybe the Suso video. Leopards almost never attack humans, especially adults. They tend to attack kids, not adults. So yeah, I've really never. And actually, when I was young, I think at some point when we went to up country, you could sit like next to a river, and then there will be a leopard just like the opposite side, and that was totally normal. And they never did anything. They were just chilling there, basking, and yeah, we were just relaxing, doing our own things. So that is the thing about most wildlife. They tend, actually, most animals don't even like humans. I think they just tend to ignore us. But yeah, I wouldn't want to again push boundaries with that, where like you're trying to poke it or you're trying to touch it. Yeah, that's where things can get bad very fast. Even snakes, like most snakes will just see a human and they'll just try to scatter away and not. The first reaction won't be to attack you. Even snake, like the only time maybe they attack you is, let's say you step on it mistakenly. If you didn't see it, then yeah, that turns bad. But again, most animals, yeah, leave them be. You do your own thing, you'll be fine. So that's why maybe out of ignorance, I'm not afraid of lions or leopards, and I wouldn't want to be in a situation where one is trying to chase me. Yeah. Another question is, how much did it cost full tour? That was asked by Ronnie Charles, and also I think Ngugi Kiari. How much did you use roughly on this trip, fueling, Kaha, and the hotels? Again, that is on the epic trip around Kenya. Yeah, because that is the video that made this channel grow 300,000 views so far. I mean, thank you to everyone who watched, everyone who subscribed, people who follow whatever other travel videos that I do and other videos like this one that I do. Thank you so much. That trip, the total cost, this is the easiest way for me to explain how to make the total cost of such a trip. If you have your own car, then it means you're only going to deal with fuel, right? And then accommodation and food, and then the entry fees. If you don't have a car, you're renting a car, that is going to cost half of the total trip. So if you rent a car at 10,000 per day for 30 days, that is 300,000. That is half of what the total cost will be. So the total cost of the trip is going to cost you like 600,000. You can easily limit yourself to 5,000 shillings. If you're a Kenyan, that is, you can easily limit yourself to 5,000 shillings per day, excluding fuel, that is. So yeah, entry fees for national parks or museums, that is like 200 shillings, 400 shillings. So that's, that's very affordable. Then food, if you keep it to local places, not very fancy, expensive places, that is going to cost you maybe another 500 shillings, let's say, per day. So entry fees can cost you, let's say, on the high side, 1,000 shillings a day, and then food is going to cost you 2,000 shillings a day, and then you're left with 3,000 shillings, which if you use Airbnb is enough to cover the cost of a good, let's say, 2-bedroom hotel. So that is actually enough money. 5,000 shillings is enough for even 2 people or even 3 people if you really stretch it. So yeah, that is how you do the costing. So for us on that trip, the whole idea was $100 a day. So that covered, the food, the accommodation, and the entry fees for most parts. Although for national parks, it's quite expensive for foreigners. So yeah, that might vary depending with the place where you're going on that day. So yeah, average, I'd say if you're a Kenyan, if you have like 500,000 shillings, that is like, or even on the higher side, you can be able to travel for like 30 days endlessly, continuously, the entire country without any problems. Ian Kahiga asked, when will you be traveling the Great African Tour? Is it an open tour or private? This has been my lifelong dream, I think, since, I don't know, maybe since I was a kid, watching National Geographic, watching Discovery Channel and things like that, when they used to be on TV. Yes, I'm very old. There used to be stations like, like a TN, you could just switch to one. And for me, I've always been fascinated with Africa, like all the countries, and I just want to travel to each and every country. And when I started this channel, that was even my goal. I was like, this channel for me is just like me documenting my trips wherever I go, right? Currently, I'm working on maps of different African countries. I've already worked on the route map of how I want to travel, but yeah, I still need to do like a lot of groundwork working on the maps. And for each of these country I want to travel to, I want to be there for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, at least explore as much as possible. And then at the end of it, just create like one huge documentary like the one I did for Kenya and be like, yeah, this is the great tour for, Uganda, the great tour for Cote d'Ivoire, the great tour for Senegal, Mali, wherever in Africa, right? So when am I going to do it? I have no idea. It's very, very expensive, but I think I'll just start with one country, come back, then months later, do another country, come back. Because for me, it's important to see national parks. I know most people who travel rarely go to, especially Africans, when I see like, the guys who do travel to several countries, they rarely go to national parks. Personally, I love national parks. I love, like just being in nature and just wasting time there, sitting, doing nothing. And that's why it's a bit complicated. Like I can't just wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm going to Rwanda, then I go to, let's say, Kigali and a few towns in Rwanda and then come back. For me, it's good, yes, but it won't be, I won't feel like, it's that much fun for me. So that's why I'd rather wait, have enough money to do like a proper trip, then get done with it and then do another country. Or even if I can combine two countries for, let's say, even 2 months, that would be perfect. If I didn't have interest in nature and national parks and things like that, I'm sure it would have been easy. I could just easily go to any country and come back easily. Even for like 3 days, I visit a town, come back, again maybe visit another town. Yeah, but the logistics for me is a bit different. That's why that's going to take a bit of time. Is it open tour? Not really, it's not an open tour. And again, I think this is also a good time to answer why I don't travel with people. How I travel is usually very, very, like I can wake up tomorrow and say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to, let's say I'm going to Embu, right? Then I go to Embu, then I be like, oh wait, there's something I remembered about Matu, that is like the opposite side, in Ukambani, and I'll be like, okay, I'll go there first. Then I'll be there and then I'll be like, since I'm here and I don't know, Garissa is not so far, let me just go also there. Then I will go there. Then I'll be like, you know what? Maybe let me turn back and go even further south. So what happens is my plan, I will have usually a destination in mind, but then things can change very fast. And if you travel with people who you don't know so well, and or rather you're not in the same wavelength, then there's a very high chance you guys will end up clashing a lot during your trips. And that's why I avoid traveling with people. And that's why, again, actually maybe I've never said this, but Ninaform is actually not even a travel company. Like I don't do trips like, those planned trips where you take people to, I don't know, Masai Mara for 2-3 days. For me, this channel is like a film production, documentary channel. It just happens to be that travel was the easiest way for me to get started, And so, yeah, my interest has always been in filmmaking, photography. And that's why even for most people that I've traveled with on this channel, you can see it was usually like a project where we are collaborating on either photography or, video making or something like the sorts. But it has never been like me taking people anywhere to like a tour guide. Honestly, there's so many tour companies. There's Bonfire, there's I don't know who, there's one. Or there's one that I really love what they do, like Let's Drift. I think they're very cool. All those are companies, and I'm sure, wait, there's a, what is that? A mosquito is just flying around. Yeah, so there's all these tour companies which already do that. I don't think there's anything unique I'm going to offer there. And also my personality, honestly, I cannot manage like to guide like, let's say, 10 people. I can do 2-3 people trip perfectly okay, but like a huge group of like 10 people, no, I cannot do that. It's good to know your limits also. So yeah, that is just a limit on me personally. Maybe I'll meet someone who has a tour company and they into that and they'd want us to partner up. Well and good. Yeah, that's for the questions. And now for the future of the channel. The problem right now is there's so many platforms. There's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's, I don't know, Facebook, there's so many things that keep coming up. And then there's also so many different ways of showcasing things. So it used to be like, oh, you can write a post, then now it's like, oh, you have to post pictures, and then it changed to now you have to put videos that are at least 3 minutes long, then it turned to 10 minutes long. You have to put videos that are at least 10 minutes long if you want to get more viewership. And then now we're back to 1 minute long video, that is YouTube Shorts. In TikTok they've increased. So basically there's so many things changing so fast, it's hard to keep up, especially if you're one person the way I am. So it becomes almost a bit depressing, honestly, try to think, oh, what am I going to do, what kind of videos should I make, because again, travel is very expensive. Every time I leave the house saying I'm going to shoot a video, it costs me at least 5,000 shillings. That's like $50. That is expensive, So it has become hard to be consistent with making travel videos because I can't travel every time. I don't make any money from the travels that I've done so far. Yeah, my YouTube is monetized, but it's still a very small channel, so whatever I get is basically peanuts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start integrating other videos in this channel. For example, the Airbnb videos that I did, yeah, they've not performed well, but I actually really liked making those videos because I tend to think travel has 4 aspects. There's the travel itself, there's food, there's music, and then there's where you sleep. So 4 things. So I'm going to try and expand on these, talk about different types of music in Kenya or even other parts of Africa. Talk about different foods. I'm not really a food person, which I think will be interesting because I don't really like food, to be honest. If I was given a pill, like just take this pill every day, you'll never be hungry, you'll be very healthy, I'd definitely do that. So I'll try to explore different places where maybe there's interesting foods that I can come across. What else? Maybe I'll start to try and interview people, I don't know, people who have traveled, who have done, stuff. Like if I can get any women who have traveled extensively in Kenya, I'd like to, interview them. Maybe they can share their experiences. Another thing I'd want to do is I'd want to showcase, what's it called? These like not tour vans, but rather tracks of camper vans, actually, that's the name I was looking for, which someone has modified, they have a tent and all that. So I'm going to try and interview those people who are in Kenya, and they can tell us how they did it, where they bought the parts, how the whole thing came together, places they've traveled, is it, the advantages, disadvantages of that. Yeah, so I've been trying to reach out to a few guys, so I'm waiting to get at least a few responses from that. Then I'll also try to integrate some real estate stuff. I really love houses, like I'm obsessed with houses. So I'm going to try also add some real estate stuff. For example, I want to shoot some videos where like we build an entire house from the ground up. No, I'm not talking of like a massive stone house like this one. No, I mean houses like, let's say, how the Kikuyus used to build their houses. Then we build them up and talk about how that used to be, or how the Pokot use mud and cow dung, or how the Maasais used to build houses using, sticks and just grass, that kind of contemporary kind of houses. And also maybe feature, even modern houses. I mean, I'm sure that will be a good contrast to see. So yeah, I'll try to do more documentaries like that. And I'll also be doing other travel documentaries within Kenya. Some people usually think that I've travel a lot in Kenya, so I'm done with content maybe in Kenya, and the truth is not really. I have like a list of so many ideas, like for example, traveling the longest distance in Kenya, uh, riding a boat from, I don't know, one end to another end, in like Lake Victoria, such of crazy ideas. Crossing the Nguruman escarpment, which is towards Lake Natron. So there's like an escarpment there, which I don't think anyone knows even about it. So I'd want to document that entire process. Uh, yeah, so I honestly have like an idea. Like my idealist has like at least 50 ideas which I've personally went on YouTube and searched to see if I can get any information, and I haven't gotten any. So I think those are very good travel ideas. So yeah, I know change is hard, but I mean, if the channel is to survive, at least I think I need to diversify on the type of content that I create. So yeah, if you really love the travel, I'm just going to be separating things to playlists. So there'll be a playlist for all the travel stuff, and then there'll be a playlist for all the house stuff, and maybe a playlist for food stuff if I do more food stuff, and even for music and culture and things like that. Yeah, because I think for me, the whole point of this is to showcase Kenya, showcase places I've been to, showcase things that are interesting that I'm hoping you'll also find very interesting. Whether you're in Kenya or even you're a foreigner or Kenyans in diaspora. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's it. And I'm hoping to do more videos very soon. I can't say when, but yeah. And if you want to support the channel, yeah, I know it's usually kind of terrible to ask for help on the internet, but yeah, you can, I don't know, buy t-shirts like this one. That's a male hiking person, and they have the Ninaform logo behind. Oh, this table is very noisy. You can go to ninaform.com/shop and yeah, check out the stuff there. We have t-shirts, and also there is artwork like what you're seeing here that is from Central Island. So you can get your own artwork. I've also put several artworks there, different sizes. You can purchase that. Yeah, that is the only way for now how to support the channel until maybe we get sponsors and things like that. So yeah, if you want maybe to just like donate, there is an Mpesa till number, or you can use ninaformke@gmail.com for PayPal. Yeah, anything helps, and yeah, hopefully this channel gets to grow even further and I get to show you guys more authentic stuff that I think are very unique, which are usually inspired by my own curiosity, where I'm like, wait, I've never seen that, I do want to see how that is done. Then when I go to see how that's done, I just make a video of it and show it to everyone. And that's it for this video, which has ended up being like 35 minutes long. So yeah, until next time, get out and explore.